In 2026, America is not just transferring wealth, it is transferring pressure, paperwork, taxes, family drama, and brutally uneven opportunity. You have heard the headline, "Trillions moving from older Americans to younger ones." Sounds like payday, right? Not so fast. Most families will not see a clean check. They will see a house, a folder, and one very awkward conversation. A retirement account can have the wrong beneficiary. A house can have 3 heirs. Suddenly, Thanksgiving becomes a board meeting. Some people may inherit paid-off homes. Others may inherit nothing except rent hikes, student loans, and parents who need help. Cerulli estimates $124 trillion will move through 2048. That number is huge. But size is not safety. Wealth does not move like a video game coin. It moves through tax rules, legal documents, titles, trusts, and signatures. The scary part? Many heirs are emotionally prepared to receive money, but operationally unprepared to manage assets. A house is not just an asset. It has property tax, repairs, insurance, memories, and siblings with opinions. A brokerage account can drop before the family agrees what to do. Markets do not pause for family meetings. When there is no plan, probate can turn a private family issue into a slow public process. Families rarely lose wealth from one big mistake. They lose it from silence, confusion, resentment, and bad timing. And if you inherit nothing, the transfer still affects you through housing, markets, inequality, and competition for assets. That is why this is not an inheritance lottery. It is a stress test for every American financial habit. So the question is not how much money is moving. The question is, are you ready when it reaches you? To understand the 2026 wealth transfer, follow the money. In America, wealth hides inside homes, stocks, retirement accounts, and businesses. The Federal Reserve reported household and non-profit net worth at $184.1 trillion in Q4 2025. Inside that pile, $47.9 trillion in owner homes, $67.8 trillion in equities, and $16 trillion in private business equity. Many boomers played a different economic game: cheaper homes, long bull markets, pensions, and decades for compounding to work quietly. Pew found the typical boomer household had $432,200 in net worth in 2022. But here comes the twist. Pew says the top 10% of boomer households held 71% of total boomer wealth. So no, every boomer is not sitting on a yacht. Some own portfolios. Others are barely outrunning healthcare, debt, and housing costs. That creates 2 American movies. One heir receives a paid-off house, while another pays rent and supports aging parents. Cerulli says more than half the transfer volume comes from high net worth and ultra-high net worth households, just 2% of households. In the next decade, Cerulli expects Gen X to inherit more than millennials, $14 trillion versus $8 trillion. Through 2048, Merrill lists estimated inheritances of $39 trillion for Gen X, $46 trillion for millennials, and $15 trillion for Gen Z. And remember, not all wealth is liquid. A family business can be valuable on paper and fragile in real life. The wealth transfer magnifies old advantages: who owned assets early, who got advice, and who had family conversations before crisis. Younger Americans are not starting from the same line. Some inherit assets, others inherit responsibility, bills, and zero margin for mistakes. That is why surviving this moment means learning the rules before the rules become taxes, probate, and family conflict. Now let's talk about the part nobody wants at Thanksgiving: taxes, death documents, probate, and who gets the house. For 2026, the federal estate and gift tax basic exclusion amount is $15 million per person. The annual gift exclusion stays at $19,000. But do not mistake a big exemption for a simple life. Most Americans will not owe federal estate tax. The real trap is assuming that means there are no problems. Probate can mean court filings, waiting, creditors, appraisals, and family members learning patience the hard way. One house, 3 siblings. One vague promise from dad: congratulations, your family just unlocked financial hard mode. A family home is not just love and nostalgia. It is roof repairs, insurance, property tax, and someone mowing the lawn. A will can say one thing, but beneficiary forms can send retirement accounts somewhere completely different. The most expensive document is often the one nobody updated after divorce, remarriage, a new child, or a new account. Being executor is not a fancy title. It can mean unpaid labor, deadlines, phone calls, and everybody blaming you. For heirs, the trap is mismanagement. For non-heirs, the trap is waiting for rescue while prices keep moving. Inherited stocks are not magic money. Sell too fast, panic too late, or ignore taxes. And the market teaches humility. And many parents will spend down assets on healthcare, housing, long-term care, and retirement before anything reaches the next generation. Families do not lose wealth only from taxes. They lose it from silence, surprise, resentment, and bad instructions. The rule is simple. Uncertainty punishes silence. So next, we build the survival playbook before the crisis hits. So how do you survive the wealth transfer? Not with panic, not with conspiracy videos, with boring moves that actually work. Step 1. Build the document map. Will, trust, power of attorney, healthcare directive, life insurance, and account beneficiaries. You do not need every dollar amount today. You need to know where the documents are and who has access. Step 2. Have the conversation before the crisis. Not, how much am I getting? Ask, how can we honor your wishes? Good question. What should we know in an emergency? Bad question. So, who gets the beach house? Timing matters. Step 3. If money arrives, hit pause. Do not turn grief, confusion, or adrenaline into a spending spree. Park the cash. Understand the tax situation. Identify the asset, then decide. Speed is how smart people do dumb things. Use professionals when the stakes are high. Estate attorney, CPA, fiduciary advisor. Your cousin with a podcast is not a plan. Step 4. Diversify. One inherited stock, one house, or one business can make you rich, then make you fragile. If you inherit a house, do not emotionally freestyle. Compare selling, renting, keeping, taxes, repairs, insurance, and family buyouts. If you inherit nothing, build transfer-proof wealth. Emergency cash, debt discipline, skills, income, and broad investing over time. Your parents' portfolio is not your strategy. Your income skills, network, savings rate, and decision-making are your strategy. The prepared executor walks in with names, accounts, passwords handled legally, deadlines, and a calm process. Chaos hates preparation. The difference is not luck. One family talks early, updates forms, and makes decisions. The other waits for the emergency. Surviving the transfer is not about worshipping inheritance. It is about becoming the kind of person who can handle capital. Here is where the story gets bigger than one family. When trillions move, markets notice, banks notice, everybody starts watching. Housing is first. Some heirs sell the house, some rent it out, some keep it and discover roofs are not free. The Federal Reserve put household and non-profit net worth at $184.1 trillion in Q4 2025. Younger wealthy investors do not always think like their parents. They look at real estate, private equity, crypto, and startups differently. That does not mean every shiny alternative asset is smart. New money plus hype is how Wall Street prints expensive lessons. Financial advisors also face a transfer. The old client relationship does not automatically survive when the kids inherit the account. The winners will not be the biggest heirs. The winners will be the people who know what to keep, sell, protect, and ignore. Some money goes to heirs, some goes to charity, some gets trapped in court because nobody made clean instructions. The smartest families transfer more than assets. They transfer instructions, values, contacts, passwords handled legally, and the reason behind the plan. And if you are not inheriting wealth, do not freeze. Build the only transfer nobody can block, your own earning power. The next decade rewards people who can manage capital, but also people who can create income before capital ever arrives. This transfer will redraw the American wealth map. Suburbs, portfolios, family businesses, advisors, renters, and first-time owners all collide. The transfer will expose habits. Planners look calm. Guessers look lucky for 5 minutes. Spenders become somebody else's exit liquidity. So stop waiting for rescue. Read the documents. Talk to family. Avoid dumb debt. Own assets. Learn taxes. Build skills. America is passing the financial baton. The only question left is simple. When it reaches your lane, are you ready to run?